Good evening. This is 5FM Main News headlines. Government aims to safeguard the vulnerable amid reduced spending on social sectors. Authorities advised to monitor investors on land issues. Virginia City names 12 victims of mass shooting. The detail. The prevailing slow economic growth is negatively affecting the vulnerable in society as government spending on social sectors is reducing. A financial analyst, Mambo Hamaundu, has stressed the need to put the interests of the poor first as it undertakes austerity measures, saying the failure to put in place safeguards will escalate poverty levels in the country. He has therefore called on the country's leadership to also demonstrate commitment in implementing austerity measures as opposed to only imposing them on the people.
So it is important that we must begin to take practical steps toward alleviating the suffering of our people. And of course, at times, political will must be demonstrated from the topmost office if the other people have to toe the line. So it will be important that our top political leaders behave in a manner which is indicative of what is obtaining within our economy at the moment. Things like unnecessary expenditure must be avoided in the quest of trying to put aside money which must be pumped back into the economy so that we begin to see businesses coming back on foot because money is exchanging hands within the domestic economy.
The Zambia Land Alliance is concerned that some investors have continued to destroy land as a result of using bad production machineries. Alliance Executive Director Patrick Musole says it is critical that ministries work together in ensuring that investors are closely monitored. He further observed that some investors have invaded game reserves, a situation he says has long-term negative effects on wildlife and forests.
It's happening in game management areas. There is the right investment and the wrong investment. There are certain activities that are compatible with game management and other activities that are not compatible. For example, if you start mining in a game management area, is that compatible? There'll be all the noise, all the earth-moving equipment, and all of that. That is not good for wildlife. But if an investment has been taken there, conserve natural resources, to conserve animals, do game ranching, that is compatible. So that's okay. So it matters what kind of investment is taken there. And I think we'd like to urge government agencies, because all these investments are actually governed by different government agencies. For example, mining is governed by the Ministry of Mines. Game ranching or game management is governed by the Ministry of Tourism. So if there's collaboration between government agencies, we would not see these incompatible investments happening in the same area.
A differently abled person, Benson Mwila, has called on the government to be disability conscious as it undertakes road infrastructure development across the country. He says persons with physical disabilities using wheelchairs undergo several challenges when using the road as they are disregarded by motorists, thus the necessity to expand the roads.
Okay, no guys come for government familiarity pangira kwa maloti. But kumankala ma challenges amino mapezeka munga mauche vanzatu. Bankala wasoma pesa mopita. So kufunga tisi government ya panga ya pesa be we mopita mbali mzokwata tisi wasako space twakazipita.
Mwila adds that access to employment opportunities has remained a challenge. He says as a result, begging has remained their trade despite some of them having the necessary qualifications.
Munga is my disabilities tima lakinga vintu chikaenda kumanti chokwa tendesa kile nchito makana tia choma na munga tibavuta kwa tia ekairi oyo kuti abwere pano it's like abwesebe kupempa sanga kwanise kuisha bandi kusebenza sanga kwanise so abwesebe kupempa so bakasapanga ngapena 5 kwacha manje 5 kwacha jesunga usinze kwati uende kusonkemo nyumba kunyumba siza kwana ile tugulemo vokudya mino 5 kwacha futhi siza kwana maona msote zokapemba government yakwati batanganireko batandiseko isibantu futhi maningi mu country mwatu Mzambia.
A group of companies, Agrao from Goa State, India, plans to build a 100-megawatt capacity solar panel manufacturing facility in Zambia. Group chairman Krishna Kumar Agrawal says the project would cost $5 million private capital investment, adding that the exercise might take 6 months if the company completes the registration and legal process, as well as getting satisfaction with the market demand. Agrawal says the project would result in job creation and skills transfer to the Zambian populace, especially youths, for the company founded in 1950, currently running a 60-megawatt solar panel manufacturing facility in Goa. This came to light when Zambia's High Commissioner to India, Judith Kapijimpanga, toured the solar manufacturing company in the Indian state of Goa, 2,000 kilometers away from the Indian capital, New Delhi.
Among all the African countries, Zambia is one of the safest places to work. So that is one of the main reasons which prompted us to start our operations in the Africa region from Zambia. Ultimately, I am not going to work longer now. My sons are going to do the work. I want them to go to a safe haven and work from there. Then I don't have any tension afterwards. They're working in a good place.
And Mrs. Kapijimpanga says Zambia has 8 months of continuous sunshine, progressive banking system, and a strong legal framework that supports private sector investment.
So your company will be very prolific in that regard, especially that the vision that our president has laid out of creation of employment is what we are thinking of. And Zambia is also, on the other hand, a very peaceful country. And Zambia is a country of laws. Once you set up your company, it is safe. Your money is safe. And the conditionalities for investors are very, very good for any progressive investor.
Government has been urged to uphold commitment to ensure malpractice-free exams this year. More in the following report.
Examination malpractice can simply be defined as academic dishonesty or academic fraud. This is any type of cheating during examination processes. It does not only refer to students, but staff too. 2018 witnessed high levels of exam malpractice where examination papers ended up on social media, prompting the suspension of exams. 77 examination centers tampered with envelopes holding examination papers. 16 people, among them teachers and pupils, were arrested by the police for allegedly being in possession of last year's grade 7, 9, and 12 examination papers. The 16 were from Lusaka, Copper Belt, and Southern provinces. Students or pupils want to pass exams at all costs, even without adequate preparations. They would still want to get better grades, but this compromises delivery of quality education. I spoke to some pupils to get their perspective on this subject.
So ine mamenionera pamene source kwamene ichokera bakazi bagwira lero tukazimvera pa news ati vanamugwira vanamumanga source
government bakonkanyapo jamna mashita yogwira bamene bamaendaenda usiku during my examination then kuti sevenangu bazitijubirako while still using a leakage.
Say concerning the issue of malpractice in exams and leakages is that government should introduce CC cameras in all institutions.
It is worth noting that there are many effects of examination malpractice, which include discouragement of students from hard work, low productivity, and poor job performance, bribery, corruption, and certificate swindling. National Action for Quality Education Executive Director Aaron Chansa has called for concerted efforts in curbing exam leakages.
The rampance of exam malpractice in this country is extremely retrogressive and is contributing to the poor secondary school education. NACASE is still insisting that the Ministry of General Education, together with the Examinations Council of Zambia, must consider reforming these exams.
Minister of General Education, David Mabumba, has assured to put in place modalities that will ensure that the country starts conducting malpractice-free exams.
We know exactly where the failures along the management chain has been. And if we can zero on those failures along the management chain, I can assure you, even in the advent of social media, we can prevent. As long as we are here, the examination for 2019 will be written in a different total environment.
It is evident that exam leakages are contributing to the prevailing low levels of education standards. Hence, the need for stakeholder collaboration in addressing the matter cannot be overemphasized. But are we ready for malpractice-free exams? The answer will be known by everyone as we conduct examinations at all levels this year. Patrick Soko, 5FM News in Lusaka.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick Soko, for that report. And now for the rest of the news. South Africa's African National Congress Secretary General S. Magashule has warned members against criticizing the party's leadership on social media. Ekuleni Mayor Mzandile Masina slammed President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to include Pravin Gordhan in his cabinet. The comments come in the wake of Public Protector Busiswe Mukwebane's adverse findings against him. The 12 people killed when a gunman fired on his colleagues at a municipal building in the U.S. city of Virginia Beach have been named. The gunman shot indiscriminately before dying in a gun battle with police. He has been identified as Dwayne Craddock and described by police as a disgruntled city employee.
As images of the newest mass shooting played out on American television screens, the public remains divided on what to do next.
You know, ma'am, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Such attitudes still dominate Washington, where Republicans, swayed by the powerful NRA gun lobby, have consistently fought to preserve gun ownership rights.
I'm just going through a lot of emotion because it's way too much killing going on, and I'm just glad that they alerted us in enough time.
The thoughts and prayers continue to pour in, adding drops to a sea of grief in a nation where the pace of these mass shootings has dramatically accelerated, but the political will to stop them has not.
And now in sports news. Zambia has begun the 2019 COSAFA Cup campaign this afternoon in a match up against Malawi in the quarterfinals in Durban, South Africa. The match is currently underway at Princess Magogo Stadium as the Chipolopolo boys chase their third successive final appearance, but still without any silverware since hosting the COSAFA Cup in 2013. Zambia enjoyed a preliminary round, but opponents Malawi qualified unbeaten from Group B on 7 points for the June 2nd date against the four-time champions. The scoreline is currently Zambia 0, Malawi 2. This sports item brings us to the end of the news at 18:30. But before we go, a recap of the top stories once more. The prevailing slow economic growth is negatively affecting the vulnerable in society as government spending on social sectors is reducing. A financial analyst, Mambo Hamaundu, has stressed the need to put the interest of the poor first as it undertakes austerity measures, saying the failure to put in place safeguards will escalate poverty levels in the country. The Zambia Land Alliance is concerned that some investors have continued to destroy land as a result of using bad production machineries. Alliance Executive Director Patrick Musole says it is critical that ministries work together in ensuring that investors are closely monitored. And finally, South Africa's African National Congress Secretary General S. Magashule has warned members against criticizing the party's leadership on social media. Ekukuleni Mayor Mzwandile Masina slammed President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to include Pravin Gordhan in his cabinet. Well, for these and other stories, visit our website on www.5fm.co.zm or like us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. This has been Curtis Lumingu on behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department. Thank you for listening.
Get acquainted with the latest news on the multiple award-winning radio station, 5FM Radio at 0615, 1245 and 1830. Fair, balanced and objective information is